Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to the channel. When we hear the word politics, what comes to our mind? Government, elections, prime minister, political parties? But what if I tell you politics happens in your classroom, in your family, even in your friend circle? Yes, today we are going to understand what is politics, what is political power, why do some people hold power over others, and what is political science. So watch till the end. What is politics? Most people think politics means government and elections, but politics is much broader than that. Politics happens whenever people compete, influence decisions, or try to shape outcomes in their favor. For example, in a classroom, when students try to convince the teacher to postpone an exam, that's politics. In a company, when employees compete for promotion, that's politics. Even inside families, when siblings influence parents' decisions, that's politics. At its core, politics is the ongoing competition between individuals or groups to influence policies and decisions. And remember this important line: politics is more fundamental than government, it exists wherever there is power, influence, or competition. Political power. Now let's talk about political power. Politics is about power, specifically the power to shape others' behavior. Political power means getting people to do something they wouldn't otherwise do, and sometimes making them think it was their own idea. Political scientists explain power in three main ways. The power to influence. This is the direct form of power. It includes persuasion, rewards, threats. For example, a leader convinces citizens to support a new law. That is influence. The power of legitimacy. Power works best when people believe it is rightful. This includes authority. When power is backed by law or tradition, for example, a prime minister or a judge, people obey because they respect the office. Consent. In democracies, power comes from the consent of the governed. People agree to be ruled by those they elect. The power of competition. Power is not held by only one person. Different groups compete for control over resources, who gets what, when, and how. Policy, which laws are passed. Values, which beliefs society prioritizes. For example, individual freedom versus collective security. Questions: why do some people hold over power others? There is no single explanation. Scholars have given five major explanations: biological, psychological, cultural, rational, and irrational. Let's understand them one by one. Biological explanation. The Greek philosopher Aristotle once said, "Man is by nature a political animal." This means humans are naturally social and hierarchical. Like herd animals, humans form leaders and followers. Some modern thinkers even study primates and say dominance hierarchies are natural. That's why some people naturally try to become leaders, alpha personalities. But here is a question: if hierarchy is natural, why do political systems sometimes collapse? Think about that. Psychological explanation. Psychological explanations of politics and obedience are closely aligned with theories. One famous experiment was conducted by Stanley Milgram, known as the Milgram study. In this study, participants were told by an authority figure to give electric shocks to another person. Most people obeyed, even when it seemed dangerous. Why? Because humans tend to obey authority. They often say, I was just following orders. This shows obedience to authority, groupthink, deep need to belong. Cultural explanation. This connects the nature versus nurture debate. Are we born political or do we learn it? Cultural theorists say political behavior is learned. Parents, schools, media, religion all shape our political values. The good news, if behavior is learned, bad behavior can be unlearned, but changing culture is slow and difficult. Rational explanation. This is the logic-based view. People allow others to have power because it benefits them. Without a central authority, no law, no order, no security. So people rationally agree to follow leaders to maintain peace and stability. Irrational explanation. This view says people are moved by emotions, myths, symbols. A charismatic leader can gain power by using fear or national pride. In this case, power is maintained by manipulating public perception. Now, finally, what is political science? Political science is the systematic and objective study of politics. It trains students to analyze politics calmly and scientifically. It is sometimes called the master science because politics influences everything. For example, if a hurricane strikes, the disaster is natural, but decisions like where to build protection, who gets funding, how to rebuild, those are political decisions. Politics control the impact of natural events on society. Main areas of political science. Political science has several major areas. Political theory studies ideas like justice, liberty, equality, democracy, and rights. Comparative politics compares politics systems of different countries. International relations studies relationships between countries, diplomacy, conflict, and global organizations. Public administration focuses on how government policies are implemented. Public policy examines how law and decisions affect society. Subfields of political science. It's US politics, comparative politics, international relations, political theory, public administration, public policy. So today we learned politics is everywhere, not just government. Political power is about influencing behavior. Power can be biological, psychological, cultural, rational, or irrational. Political science studies politics in a systematic and objective way. Now tell me in the comments, do you think politics power is mostly rational or emotional? If this helped you, like the video, share it with your friends and subscribe for more Political Science 101 content. See you in the next lecture. Thank you so much.